Alright guys, we're back with another episode of Game of Thrones. This is Season 7, Episode 3, and I feel like it's going to be a big one. I'm very curious what Theon will do now that he's reverted back to a more traumatized state. That kind of trauma stays with you, and like Melisandre told Daenerys that the Starks took Winterfell back, but did Daenerys tell her allies? Like, it wouldn't cure Theon to know that Ramsay's dead, but I have to imagine it would help a little bit. Arya is heading home, and I need more reunions. Can't wait for that. Jon just left, but Sansa's still there, and Bran, I assume, is on his way back to Winterfell. Hopefully Mira isn't the one dragging him all that way still, but we'll see. Maybe she has a wheelbarrow, like Hodor did. It'd also be awesome to have Brienne meet Arya again. Arya started to like Brienne in that conversation before Pod recognized the Hound. I remember early on, I was just like, when we first met Brienne, I was just like, Arya would like her, and she would love to interact with her. And we had that like 1.5 minute scene with them together, and I would love to see more. There are also a ton of other characters meeting up that would make me very, very happy too. Can't wait for that. But the headliner would probably be Jon heading to Daenerys. He's meeting his aunt for the very first time. And this feels like an epic crossover, even though they're all in the same story. But we've come so far with so little intersecting from Essos and Westeros. And now Jon is meeting Daenerys, and I hope we don't have to wait until the next episode for that. And finally, from the last episode, the big ending with Euron capturing Yara, Ilaria, and Tyene. I imagine the latter two are the gift for Cersei that he promised. And I don't know that Cersei would ever go for marriage, but she'll probably find some way to use him. She has had enough of being married to people she doesn't want to be. But yeah, Yara, I don't know if Euron's gonna let her live any longer. She might be dead by the time we see another scene with Euron, but hopefully not. But without further ado, if you want to watch along with the full reaction on Patreon with the footage, check out the link in the description below. Now let's get started.
The bastard of Winterfell. The dwarf of Casterly Rock.
Smile. Smile. Aww.
Welcome to Dragonstone.
Missandei looks happy. Wonder why that would be. Haha. Just gonna hand over a Longclaw like that. And there's their ship. They're prisoners now.
Sansa, I hear she's alive and well.
She is.
Does she miss me terribly? I'd say you get used to them. But you never really do.
I have to die in this strange country. Just like you.
What? What does she know now? God dang it. Hello, nephew.
You stand in the presence of Daenerys Stormborn of House Targaryen, the mother of dragons, the
So many
Khaleesi
titles.
of the Great Grass Sea.
Are you done?
This is Jon Snow.
That's it. This is Jon. That's it.
He's king in the north.
I am the last Targaryen, Jon Snow.
Nuh-uh.
Honor the pledge your ancestor made to mine.
Everyone you know will die before winter's over if we don't defeat the enemy to the north.
As far as I can see, you are the enemy to the north.
I'm not your enemy.
I was born to rule the Seven Kingdoms. And I will.
But if destiny has brought Daenerys Targaryen back to our shores, it has also made Jon Snow king in the north. He was named king in the north, not because of his birthright. He has no birthright. He's a damn bastard. All those hard sons of bitches chose him as their leader because they believe in him. He risked his life for his people. He took a knife in the heart for his people. He gave his own...
Oh.
It doesn't matter whose skeleton sits on the Iron Throne.
If it doesn't matter, then you might as well kneel. But I don't know you. As far as I can tell, your claim to the throne rests entirely on your father's name, and my own father fought to overthrow the Mad King.
I have to be honest. This is making me hard.
Of course. Of course you would tell your niece that.
See, little.
You killed my daughter. Prepare to die.
There's only one reward I want. You shall have what your heart desires
Really?
when the war is won.
Meaning she's gonna have him killed before
With Euron
the war is
Greyjoy
won.
command.
Does she like it gentle or rough? A finger in the bum. Not now. We'll talk later.
Jeez. He has no chill. He has zero chill.
The thought of this lovely face cracking open like a duck egg. No, it's just not right.
Bite her, bite her, bite her neck, bite her. Bite her mouth off, bite, bite. She. The poison. Just out of reach of each other.
No.
He said no.
No one can see us like this.
I am the queen of the Seven Kingdoms. I'll do as I please. I'm guessing the Iron Bank invested considerable gold in the slave trade. How are your profits?
Ooh.
Now that Daenerys has freed all the slaves. Give me a fortnight. Stay in King's Landing as my honored guest. And when you return to Bravos, I swear to you, my debt will be paid in full.
What? By then? She's getting smarter. I think all of these dumb decisions have made her smarter.
I came down here to brood over my failure to predict the Greyjoy attack.
And pee off the cliff. No?
You look a lot better brooding than I do. Grumpkins and Snarks, you called them. Do you remember?
Right.
You said it was all nonsense.
How do you remember? It's been
Was
6 years.
nonsense. Everybody knew it.
And I trust the eyes of an honest man more than I trust what everybody knows.
Hmm.
But a wise man once said that you should never believe a thing simply because you want to believe it.
Who was that? Who was
Which
that?
wise man said this?
Me.
I don't remember.
Are you trying to present your own statements as ancient wisdom?
Never do that.
Nope.
To you.
Okay.
And I haven't changed my mind about which kingdoms belong to that throne.
I haven't either.
This is fun.
I will allow you to mine the dragon glass and forge weapons from it. Any resources or men you need, I will provide for you.
Ooh, wow.
So you believe me then about the Night King and the army of the dead?
I don't know. I believe you believe it.
Don't fight in the north or the south. Fight every battle, everywhere, always, in your mind. Everyone is your enemy. Everyone is your friend. Every possible series of events is happening all at once. Live that way, and nothing will surprise you. Everything that happens will be something that you've seen before.
This is how he lives. Bran! Brandon Stark. He doesn't even seem happy. He reminds me of Alex from One Day at a Time. I will leave this in the video, in the editing, when I edit.
It was so beautiful that night. Snow falling. Just like now. And you were so beautiful. Yeah. In your white wedding dress.
He became creepy. Damn. How far south did it go, though? I mean, we talk about getting hard, but is that the way you want to get hard?
Does it hurt?
A bit. Then he started feeling better. I assumed it was the rest that did it.
Huh. They're not telling him.
Climate.
The climate. Okay.
Climate. Perhaps our paths will cross again.
You can shake hands now. You're no longer infected. Aww. Sam goes to sleep that night.
Many men will die.
Oh, no.
As my father said they would.
They're just inside already.
It's an impregnable fortress. But as a good friend of mine once said, give me 10 good men, and I'll impregnate the bitch.
Braun. Braun. Oh, wow.
It begins.
Oh. What? It was a fake? Oh, she learned from Jaime's capture. Oh, ship's burned. Oh.
Where are the rest of the Lannisters?
What? Where? Oh, that's too smart. Highgarden. Reigns of Castamere.
So you just let them take it. You took your army, your real army, and went where they weren't.
As Robb Stark did to me at Whispering Wood. There are always lessons in failures.
Yes. You must be very wise by now.
You must have failed a lot.
I always said I was a slow learner. Widow's Wail.
Did you rename it?
He really was a cunt,
When people are living peacefully in the world she built, do you really think they'll wring their hands over the way she built it?
You love her. You really do love
Obviously.
her. You poor fool. It'll be the end of you.
Possibly.
Oops, I spilled it.
Will there be pain?
No, I made sure of that.
That's good.
Drinks it immediately.
I'd hate to die like your son. A shocking scene. Not at all what I intended. You see, tell Cersei. I wanted to know it was me.
Oh no, the most badass woman. Olenna frickin' Tyrell. Oh. I'm sad we'll never see any more of her quips and stuff. That's sad. Alright, I feel like this season is moving so much faster than previous seasons. Like, things are just happening at such a breakneck pace. I don't mind it that much yet, as long as they keep paying off on storylines I think are relevant, and I don't feel like anything in particular is missing. But like, there's just so much to talk about in each episode. My videos have been upwards of like 30 minutes long each episode, and I think this one will be too. I'll share with you one thing I really want to do when I'm all caught up with Game of Thrones. Looking up freaking GIFs from the series. I mean, there just have to be a treasure trove of good ones. I know the Dancing Tyrion one, in what I assume was a blooper reel, and I saw the Ramsay and Sausage one with no context before I started watching the series, and that seemed pretty innocent back then. But there have to be some other amazing ones. Maybe some that are made all the funnier with like captions. Like, imagine like Tyrion in a sky prison in the Vale with the caption like, your reaction when you wake up right before you roll off your side of the bed, or something stupid like that. But anyway, we have first Tyrion and Jon meeting again. I remember them being a little friendly when they were up north, but I didn't think it was like this strong a bond. So much could have changed in the last 6 years, but we as the audience know that they're right to trust each other. And I guess Jon also has Sansa's word to back up his trust. And when Tyrion last met Jon was pretty straightforward kid, so it was probably easier to get a good read on his nature. I'm kind of sad about this scene though. Jon and Tyrion are saying they'd like to hear how Jon became king in the north and how Tyrion became hand of the queen to Daenerys. If there was an extra episode that was just them recounting everything that happened and seeing how the other one reacted, I'd watch the heck out of that. Also love the moment where one of the dragons comes diving down right over Jon and Davos, and they both dive to the ground. And it comes right after Jon said he's not a Stark, so it's nice timing. Meanwhile, Missandei's just standing there smiling at them. She's smiling a lot this episode. I wonder why that could be. And meanwhile, Melisandre is watching this meeting from like the top of some cliffs, and Varys comes to meet with her, and she says she and Varys have to die in this land, and I'm assuming she means Westeros. But she's heading back to Volantis for now, so maybe we're not done with Essos as we thought. I don't know if we'll get another scene in Essos, but I'm interested to find out what the heck she's doing there before she arrives back in Westeros. Or maybe she just shows up and it's like, hey, look what I found in Volantis. But technically she doesn't say when they'll die in Westeros, so maybe they'll get to die of old age. But after this prophecy, I feel like it's more likely they'll both be killed in the coming wars before the end of the series. Even though neither of them should be at the front line, so I don't know. I love that introduction scene with Daenerys and Jon. I have no idea how many titles Daenerys has, but Davos is just like, this is Jon Snow. It's like a 5-second pause. He's king in the north. That was too good. I half expected him to be like, he's a bastard from Winterfell. I mean, Jon could have a lot of other titles, but they don't have them at the ready when introducing him to other people. He's just not that kind of guy who's just like, you know, all about the bluster. But Daenerys wants him to bend the knee to honor the bending of the knee of Torrhen Stark from generations ago. And Jon refuses. And honestly, I mean, they both have to do this dance. Her goal is to unite the Seven Kingdoms. He might be breaking faith by not bending the knee, but you could easily argue that Aerys burning the Warden of the North and his heir broke that alliance. Like, he was supposed to be the protector of the realm, and yeah. Daenerys does have somewhat of a point that one man shouldn't ruin an alliance of thousands of years. There's room to work here, I think. An alliance will do all of them good, honestly. But I don't know what it will take for either of them to bend. I mean, if Jon found out he's Rhaegar and Lyanna's son, that could change things significantly. The tone of this conversation would be completely different. I don't know that Daenerys would see him as a threat or an ally at that point. Like, I don't think Jon would want the throne. Like, he's never wanted any of this. But maybe they could rule together if they're a couple. Like, the Targaryens did like to marry within the family. And Jon says he's not beholden to his ancestors' vows, which, yikes. What would the northern houses think if they heard him say that? They have all personally pledged to him, but with that statement, he's also saying that the children of the people who pledged to him have no obligation to follow the Starks. So it's a slippery slope he's playing on. I don't like Daenerys' argument with Jon, though, when he starts talking about White Walkers. Like, she says she's pulled through everything just because, like, she believed in herself, and she was born to rule the Seven Kingdoms. And I'm just like, okay, like, how does that in any way address what Jon just brought up? She's essentially saying that she doesn't believe in White Walkers, and I don't know what can convince her, really. Like, does she need to see a white to believe it's real? Could they possibly capture a white to bring to her as proof? Or maybe have her fly up to... I don't know if she's willing to do that. That would seem like a trap for sure. But Davos is still the ultimate hype man. If destiny made you queen, it also made Jon king in the north. Not because of his birthright. He has none. He's a dumb bastard. I love his pronunciation. I love his accent. I don't even know what accent it is. I'm pretty sure somebody told me, but I forgot already. But Jon gives him a look when Davos mentions that Jon took a knife to the heart. He was just like, dude, they already don't believe in White Walkers. You want to bring up more unbelievable crap? But things were getting a little hostile. Jon was giving a heck of a speech, though, when Varys interrupts them with this news of Dorne and the Ironborn. Yeah, that's rough. We've got a lot of people with interesting sexual kinks this episode. Euron's parading down the streets in King's Landing and tells his niece that he's hard. That was totally necessary. And then Cersei actually promises to marry him after the war. But yeah, that's never going to happen. He is going to die before that. Then Cersei gets revenge on Arya by killing her daughter with the long farewell. That was hard to watch. Like, I never liked Arya, but that is a lot to go through. I can sympathize, empathize. I always forget the difference. All right. But of course, Cersei then immediately goes upstairs to have sex with Jaime. Like, as soon as she gets revenge, it's like the hugest turn on. He says no at first, but then seems to reciprocate, but it's still like a dodgy situation. Like, she's the queen. That power dynamic is a little screwy. Did he feel like he could have stopped her if he wanted to? But yeah, Jaime isn't at the torture of Arya and the murder of Tyene. Like, he doesn't have that thirst for cruelty that Cersei does. But if I was Cersei, I'd definitely wash my face and lips before kissing my lover after administering the poison. Like, I'm kind of... It'll be really sad if Jaime just dies in 2 episodes because of this. That'd be really screwed up. And we've got Tycho and Nestoris coming from Bravos to visit Cersei to offer his condolences and his congratulations. She doesn't know the Iron Bank tried to back Stannis. That would be... and at this point, there's no way... I don't think there's any way she could find out, but that would be... That's very interesting. And even though he didn't succeed, Jon is king in the north, partially thanks to him taking that wildling camp. And Cersei's argument for why the Iron Bank should invest in her over Daenerys is somewhat convincing. Though then again, like, Daenerys just needs to hit King's Landing hard and it'd be over. I guess the Iron Bank doesn't know her that well. Like, are they sure she wouldn't just set King's Landing ablaze? Heck, I think if it gets rough enough, she would be willing to do it. I think her advisors would have to stop her from doing it. But Cersei promises to have her debt paid in full within a fortnight, and I was just kind of like, how? And I was saying to myself that, okay, I'll think about it when I'm editing, how she'll be able to do this, but she takes care of it this very episode. But yeah, Tyrion meets with Jon for some funny dialogue. You look better brooding than I do. And Tyrion believes Jon... I can't believe Jon remembers what Tyrion said about White Walkers from 6 years ago, like the Grumpkins and Snarks. I don't remember what I saw. I don't remember, and I saw that episode like less than half a year ago. I mean, if you had asked me what they said, I wouldn't have been able to tell you. It does sound familiar though. But yeah, Tyrion believes Jon because he trusts the eyes of an honest man more than he trusts what everybody knows, which is a very good line. But Tyrion makes a very solid point that it's unreasonable to ask Daenerys to drop everything to fight an enemy she's never seen for a person she doesn't know. And he asks Jon if there's anything reasonable Jon can ask for. And Jon finally gets to talk about Dragonglass. And Tyrion goes straight to Daenerys. Like, he knows Jon will be a valuable ally with their recent losses. And when she asks him about what he thinks about White Walkers, he says, a wise man once said that you should never believe things simply because you want to believe it. Are you trying to present your own statements as ancient wisdom? I would never do that to you. That was so good. Daenerys offers to have her men help mine the Dragonglass for Jon, though, so yay. And Jon asks a pretty smart question, so you believe me about the army of the dead. I don't know if he did that because, for like, strategic reasons. Like, he can get a good sense of her intentions from her answers. If he knows she's just doing this to gain his favor and doesn't believe in the White Walkers, he can be a little bit more wary. But anyway, she doesn't answer. She's just like, oh, you should... I forget what she says, but she doesn't... She basically doesn't give an answer. Which, yeah, it was the best answer anyway. But yay, they get to start getting Dragonglass. Sansa is doing a really great job running Winterfell. Really proud of her. Still doesn't seem like something a teenager should have to concern herself with, though, I mean, this is the world. I wish she could just be relaxing with her friends, like watching X-Men movies and saying how much she looks like Jean Grey. But yeah, she seems to be doing a great job. All the Stark children, except Rickon, seem to be capable of leading in one way or another. And Rickon was only because we only saw him for like a couple minutes on screen. It's impressive what Ned and Catelyn did. By the way, I know she plays Jean Grey. I'm just kidding. Meanwhile, though, Littlefinger gives Sansa advice, and I love to hate this guy. I mean, I've been waiting for another speech on the level of chaos is a ladder. And this might have done it, honestly. Don't fight in the north. Fight every battle everywhere. Always in your mind. Everyone is your enemy. Everyone is your friend. Every possible series of events is happening all at once. Live that way and nothing will surprise you. Everything that happens will be something that you've seen before. That's perfect. And Sansa kind of looks at him like, holy crap, I thought I was playing the game. This guy's dedication is on another level, which makes sense given his level of ambition. And as much as I dislike Littlefinger as a person, I need him to distill all his wisdom and beliefs into like a single book. Not necessarily so I can follow them all, but I could learn just how the hell his brain works and take whatever I think is good and use it for myself. So this speech had to have significance, right? Like, who does Sansa consider an enemy that she can try to see as a friend? And what friends should she be seeing as enemies, besides Littlefinger? Would she be willing to use Cersei against the White Walkers? I don't think you can use the White Walkers against Cersei, unfortunately. But what friends does she need to be wary of? Besides Littlefinger, Tyrion, Jon, Arya, Bran. I don't think so. I don't think any of them. But that actually begs the question: is he telling her to view everyone as an enemy so that he can sow seeds of doubt and cause chaos? Like, if she views everyone as either someone to be used or someone who will betray her, I mean, that would lead very much to chaos, and we know that chaos is a ladder. Freaking, how many people has he given this speech to in the past? Like, just to make them more prone to betrayal and stuff like that. But yeah, Littlefinger, viewing life this way is easier because he only has to look out for himself. But people usually have others they care about, so the more people think the way Littlefinger does, viewing everyone as a stepping stone or with suspicion, the more he comes out on top. It's ridiculous how... I don't know if it's well thought... It's so well thought out, though. I can't fathom what he has planned next. Like, it seemed to me what he would want most for Sansa would be for her to take Winterfell from Jon while he's away. I'm just getting chills thinking about how snake-like he is. It's amazing. But Bran arrives home. I didn't cut the hug, guys. Aren't you proud of me? Bran then says he can't be Lord of Winterfell. It sounds like he's lost his identity, seeing so many visions. He knows he has a role to play. He knows he must train so he can be ready for the long night. And he's probably seen Sansa and Jon fulfilling that leadership role better. So unfortunately, he goes about the worst way to show Sansa his powers. Like, he really had to re-traumatize her like that. Like, you look so pretty the night you were assaulted. Like, meanwhile, though, Jorah is cured, like Sam did it. Yes! I like that Jorah tried to play it off as if all of it just, like, fell off in the night and so that Sam wouldn't get in trouble. Like, nobody was gonna buy that, but it's hilarious. And I can't believe they're setting up reunions for Season 8 and Season 7. Like, Sam and Jorah, a love story. Yeah, they were saying how they hope to see each other again in the future. And that handshake, there was so much emotion in that handshake. Like, Jorah thought he'd never be able to touch another human being ever again. So, really sweet moment. Sam gets punished, though. Like, he has to transcribe a bunch of old texts that have paper mites. Maybe there will be something useful in those texts, though. That'd be interesting to see. And damn it, like, taking Casterly Rock completely backfires. And the Lannisters took Highgarden in one fell swoop too. It's completely ridiculous. Like, Jaime learned from probably his biggest military defeat at the hands of Robb Stark. And I find it really funny that earlier in the episode, after Cersei's interaction with Tycho, that I said, I think all of these dumb decisions have made her smarter. And now Jaime and Olenna have that same conversation. Jaime says there are always lessons in failure, and Olenna's like, you must be very wise by now. Exactly, Cersei too. But did we know that Jaime had Widow's Wail? I feel like that's something I would have remembered, but I guess if it did happen before, I just forgot. But the last Valyrian steel swords are in the hands of Jon, Brienne, Jaime, Sam, and yeah, who does Sam give that Heartsbane to? So it'll be interesting. Jaime, I don't know. I wonder if he's gotten better with his left hand. I'm interested to see that. And Olenna's last actions are to tell Jaime she killed Joffrey, and for Jaime to tell Cersei what she did. Goodbye, Queen of Thrones. You will be missed. I'm going to give this episode 4 direwolves again. A lot of great humor, and it was great seeing all these characters meeting each other for the first time. That turnaround at Highgarden was masterful. I think it'll push Daenerys to be a little bit more ruthless, and her way, like, her advisors' ways have lost her Dorne, her fleet, Highgarden, her Unsullied for now. So yeah, I think she might get a little ruthless. But we only have 4 episodes to go until I'm caught up. I can't wait. Alright everyone, be sure to like, comment, share, subscribe. If you're watching this on YouTube and you want to watch the next 3 episodes right now, make sure to check out that early access option on Patreon in the link in the description below. Thanks for watching. Bye friends.